G'day scavengers and scrappers and people who basically accidentally found my channel. Okay, today we're going to scrap a Powerfit. It's one of these exercising boards that basically waddles or sends your legs back and forth. Just one of the floor ones, and oh, hang on, spin that around. This particular one is called Powerfit. That's the make of it. And then this one, okay, we've got a model number, yes. What we got here? Okay, E380, okay. All right, 200 watts. Should have one nice little motor in there and a lot of steel, judging by the weight. All right, I'm going to start pulling apart some of the some of these things, and I'll see how I can get into it. All right, back in a minute. All right, judging by the weight of this thing, I thought it was going to be really hard to get into, and it took me a while to work it out, but it's really just two Allen key bolts, 5mm, for anyone who ever wants to pull one of these apart. And let's see what, oh, hang on, what we got here? Hey, all right, pretty basic. That looks like some sort of, what do we got there? Is that control module? Then we got, basic structure. Oh, yeah, no, we are basic. Very, very basic. I think this might have been one of the cheaper versions. Quite a lot of steel wrapped in plastic. All right. Now, where's the, oh, there we go. The motor's hiding under there. All right. What do we got here? There we go. That's probably the only good thing out of this is that one motor there, but that's okay. That's why I grabbed it. All right, so bit of steel for my steel guy, and a bit of plastic for the recycling bin, and a little bit of mechanical fixtures. All right, I'll get stuck into it. All right, well, I just went and looked this thing up. It's they're still selling now around about $400 to $500 depending where you go. It's apparently one of the mid to almost high range one of these vibration boards. Like wobble boards, whatever you want to call it. There's not much info on the actual motor. It's probably a permanent magnet motor. Runs at 180 volts. Yeah, look, you know, it might come in handy for something. I don't know. Now, how these things work is basically when that is operational, this belt here, they're very, very simple machines. Very simple. All right, so probably the control, the electronics in it is usually what fails in these. However, on this particular one, it's got the rib belt, and the bearing in here has actually shat itself, torn itself apart, so therefore it would have been making noise and possibly smoke. But they're a pretty simple thing. It would have been an easy fix. However, not everyone's going to get in there and do that, or got the time to actually learn about doing all this sort of stuff. I really do like the fact it's got lots of Allen keys, Allen key bolts. That reminds me of back in the day when machinists were treated almost like gods in the on the factory floor, because only they could adjust the plant. They're also with my I'm going to be doing a home rig for my metal lathe, so yeah, all these Allen key bolts will come in handy. Okay, so how these things work, when this thing actually does turn around, it just wobbles like a seesaw. Like, I don't know if you can see that, there's not a lot of rise in that at all, but that's all she does. Just that, but very, very fast. And it is actually a very good exercise machine in the sense that it does work out quite a little bit of your lower body. All right, so lots and lots of screws to keep that on. I'm finding that this is a very, very simply made machine. However, to go in and get these out, I'm going to have to take off, there's a anti-slip rubber mat on there, which I'm going to have to actually peel off to be able to separate this plastic top board and the actual metal frame. All right, I'll have a crack at that, and I'll come back and let you know. All right, so I've pulled a few of these apart before, and quite often this will be really, really highly stuck down, but this is really bare basics. It's just Phillips head, cheap Phillips head screws, of which they've, I think you'll see that, yeah, they've actually had it. They've probably put it in with a power gun, like a drill, and they've burnt them a little bit. Oh, that came off very easy. All right, so I'll tell you what, that's there you go, gravity settled. All right, now that's potentially got a secondary use of a toilet mat, possibly. I don't know, quite washable. I'll have a look at that as a possibility. Anyway, all right, so let's have a look here. Okay, so there was a little bit of adjustment made to be done through here, but look, I'll tell you what, you're paying a lot of dollars for something that didn't cost a lot to make. Well, I shouldn't really say that because I don't know what it cost to make, but let's just say that I've seen higher quality parts used on cheaper versions of these. All right, well, I'll finish pulling that apart and we'll see what happens. Okay, that took a little while to get them all out. So 4 each along the outside edges and 6 each along the 2 middle rows. And yeah, have a little bit of plastic. Okay, what do we got here? It feels like ABS. Let's see if it's got... No, I can't see any stamping on it to tell me what type of plastic it is, but yeah, that really does feel like ABS on that. So yeah, for those that don't know, that's what modern Lego is actually made out of, is ABS. So if anyone who's ever stood on one of them will know that it is a little bit rigid, a little bit hard. All right, so that over there, and this is what the base, well, the guts of it, the main mechanics looks of it. Very, very simple, very basic, all just spot welded together, I dare say. Yep, and yeah, look, there's not much coming off this, but I'll strip that and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so yeah, just had to end up pulling these two apart, these two off. I had to jump up to a 6mm for these two, and then down to a 4mm for the rest of the working. All right, but I'll show you what it looks like once. There's something interesting I want to show you in a sec. Okay, so once you get this little seesaw free from that little mount there, okay, for a moment there thought it may have been spot welded in place, but no, a little bit of a tappy tap with the persuader, and yeah, the studs will come out. And once that happens, I might need 2 hands. I'll get back to you in a sec, guys. All right, guys, once we get those out, you can see that they almost look like wheel studs, almost. Yeah, quite solid little things. All right, so with this, they're 4, 5, and 6mm. This particular tool is sold as a bicycle tool. 4, 5, and 6. It's quite a cheap little tool, and I'll tell you what, it does very well for itself, as long as you don't expect too much from it mechanically wise. It will eventually break. They're only cheap ones, like $3, I think, Australian. I get mine off Temu, and I only pay through PayPal. I've never had a problem with the payment systems with PayPal for Temu. Okay, quite a lot of my stuff is from Temu, because I do try and keep the price down. It's a hobby. I don't make any real profit. I don't make any money other than maybe sometimes I'll scrap a few buckets worth. Not a lot of money in it. I'm doing this more for fun and for learning. Now this once, oh yeah, okay, bit of weight in that. And there's some nylon bushes as well. All right, try that again. Take all that off. I've still got to deal with that, and then, all right, I think that there is just one piece now. Yep, that's just one piece for my scrap metal guy. Okay, if anyone of you guys obviously you're on YouTube watching this, then go and have a check out of Polly Profit's channel. If you love going through finding stuff, if you love watching someone find stuff, it is just hypnotizing. It's really cool. All right. Yeah, so he picks up all my steel and then he trades me a few little items he finds on the nature strip for the steel. So it's a good win-win situation because I couldn't be bothered trying to get a whole ton of steel together. In fact, that may be inside, I think. So he'll be happy with that. All right, I'll get back to the other bit in a sec. When I first started pulling this thing apart, I didn't think I was going to actually need to explain very much, but okay, so just a little punch, and you get the nylon bushes out of that. So there's some more insides. And okay, so I actually ended up having to bash these out of the bearings. So we've got a pair of bearings embedded into a nylon housing. Okay, what do we got here? We got a 6201. Okay, the other one almost definitely will be the same. 6201 RS, of course. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but my experience is that it'll be just a little bit about what particular type of 6201 it is. Give you a bit more information about it. S, I think, is sealed, and yeah, things like that. Okay, so they will probably, I'll get them out in a moment. This thing here is, I still have to take that apart. And okay, so the ribbed fan belt, or well, the rib belt. Okay, 205J, is that? No, here we go. 2M5130. I'm sure if you look that up, in fact, I might do that just to find out what it talks about. Usually, somewhere along the line, that has the measurement of the actual. What's that going to be? It's going to be around about. I don't know. Hey, where'd you go? Come back here. Okay. Yes. See this, for example, this could be a 313.0 millimeter. And there are how many ridges? 4 ridges, 3 grooves. Okay, so yeah, look, I've got a tub of these random belts. They come. You never know when you're going to need one, but if you ever need that particular one, there it is. It's in one of those machines. Okay, all right. I'll pull the rest of this part and I'll get back to you. All right, Murphy's Law. Pulling it all apart. It was 13 mil. All the bolts were 13 mil. So I went and put the 14 mil away, and of course these are 14 mil bolts. Okay, there you go. Yeah, just to give me something to just to keep me on my toes. Seriously, just awesome. All right, so take this one out. Okay, find you later. Okay, yep, inside. Pick that up later. All right, I'm having a bit of a lazy day, I think. All right, there's 2 circlips on this one. Now, this bearing is a larger bearing, and it has certainly seen better days. Yeah, she's chewed out, and I don't know if I'll be able to get it now. Oh, that's bit of magic. Now, from memory, let's have a double check. I think it was a 6005. Yep, 6005 RS. All right, so that's what this was. I'll pull it apart and pull it out anyway. But yeah, and she's a bit messy. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I think she's chucked a couple of balls. She's chucked the dust cover out, and the cage, the little cage that holds the balls into. Holds them all separated into like evenly spaced, and that's if it had a cage in there, but there was some bit of metal that came out. Hang on, it could actually just be the cage that's missing and the balls are actually grouping. That can quite often happen. Once the cage, there's like usually a little metal cage that holds the spaces, all the balls apart, and then once that goes, they all tend to clump together. and then you get like a big gap there, and eventually wears on the two balls on either side and also on the race, and then yeah, it gets a bit of a wobble up. All right, so that's about all there is to this one. Oh, there was a control board as well. All right, I'll pull that up, open that up and show you what's in there. All right, so it was a control board and a power board all in one. Semi-sealed unit in the sense it was actually screwed together. It's got more information on this than the actual machine itself had. So, yeah, once you take the cover off, there we go. Power board and some very, very basic control board. Now, it did actually say here motor 1 and motor 2. So I got a feeling this may end up being used, this particular case may end up being used in a few of these different types, but this was just a single motor unit. And yeah, very, very basic. Through hole technology, it's not even surface mount. Very basic construction. They don't make, this was a 2015 unit, I believe, manufacturing year. They don't make a lot of through hole stuff anymore. I still see a little bit of it, but a lot of the stuff now is just surface mounted. So yeah, there we go. Very, very interesting sort of unit. It's sold as an upmarket one. I remember when I first saw these machines. It was around about 8 years ago. So what happened was I was walking along through the supermarket. There's a little pop-up stall, and there was a couple of women in like fitness outfit, like gym outfits, going, hey, have a look at this machine. And they were trying to sell it to me for about $800. But then I went online and I found one for $30. It was a refurbished one. Obviously, it was sent back under warranty, and they just give it a quick fix and sold it for $30, and that included delivery. So huge difference. So I was actually thinking there was quite a bit of a markup in these things, and yeah, it looks like there were. Oh, still had a couple of residual ones. That there is where you have the I guess that's for the rope. I guess you have some sort of rope where you can saw that in one of the websites. A couple of people using these with a bit of rope, some sort of rope, or I'm not sure what it was, but anyway. Okay, there you go. Nice and basic. Yeah, basically metal. So at the end of this, this motor, which may or may not be useful. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I'd say by the look of that, that's a permanent magnet one. Yep. Okay, so let's solve that issue. Don't have to pull it apart. There is a little bit of aluminium in there, and there will be a little bit of copper, I'd say, on the well, I've said that before and I'm being wrong, but on the rotor, on the armature, I was hoping there might be copper in there. But these things here, they're probably worth keeping together as a unit rather than scrapping for metal, because I'm sure someone out there will want something for a project. They're quite handy. All right, so that's it, guys. Yeah, interesting one. All right, catch you next video. See ya. All right, just a little bit added extra, just on the end. It was actually the cage that had failed, and there you'll see a little piece of the cage, which is meant to just hold the balls, the ball bearings in. I spaced them apart so they spread the load out of the bearing. All right, it doesn't want to come out now. I thought it was going to come out, but no. Okay, all right. So yeah, but it definitely was the cage it went. Now the nylon bush inside there, you can see how it's off center. That's what gives it a little up and down motion of the actual seesaw. And yeah, I was right. It was actually a 6005 and then RS. Okay, it's actually squeezed in there pretty well. So they are 4mm Allen keys and 10mm nuts. And I'll probably put a description of all the tools needed put the list of the tools needed in the description. There we go. That's what I meant to say. All right, there you go. I think that was it. And yeah, a lot of steel, a lot of plastic, and Could have been 3 bearings, but 2 usable bearings, and a few Allen key bolts. So yeah, look, was it worth my time? Yeah, I enjoyed it. I actually enjoy pulling these ones apart, and when I'm not making video, they do actually get pulled apart a bit quicker. But I really do have a liking for my Allen key bolts. Yeah, they're really good for when you're jerry rigging a project together to see whether it's going to fit, and then later on you can use whatever fixing you need. But yeah, there you go. All right, thanks guys, see you next one.